Good morning and welcome to this edition of Hyclopedia. Today I'm in Taichung city in central Taiwan to retrace the events of an assassination attempt. But don't worry, this incident didn't happen recently. This particular event took place way back in 1928, and although it happened here in Taiwan, neither the would-be assassin nor his target were actually Taiwanese. And that's probably why so few people here actually know much about this near century-old tale of international intrigue. The origins of this story begin in modern-day North Korea, which shares history with Taiwan in that up until the end of World War II, it too was part of the Japanese Empire. The key actor in this story was this guy, Myeong-ha, or Ming-he. The son of a farmer born in 1905, he was just 5 years old when his homeland was annexed by Japan. Growing up, Cho learned about Chinese medicine and he also became fluent in Japanese. He got married aged just 20, and like so many of his fellow young Koreans, Cho also developed a strong interest in the Korean independence movement. He eventually travelled to Japan in 1926, where he hoped to be able to pursue the fight for independence away from the surveillance mechanisms back home. After living and working in Japan for a while, Cho came to Taiwan in November 1927, arriving here in Geelong on a ferry from Kobe. Searching for work, Cho found employment at the Fuguiyuan Tea House here at 52 Jiguang Street in central Taichung, at the time the bustling commercial heart of the city. Whilst in Taichung, he heard word that Prince Kuniyoshi, a high-ranking member of the Japanese military and father of the Empress Consort, was visiting the city to inspect Japanese troops on their way to China. Determined to strike a blow against the Japanese for their colonization of his homeland, Cho hatched a plan, proceeded to buy a knife and began plotting his attack. The next day, May 14th, 1928, he waited for Prince Kuniyoshi's motorcade to arrive. It was easy to work out the route it would take, as school children and civilians would line the roadside to wave flags and cheer visiting dignitaries. Then, when the prince's limo slowed down to make a left turn here at what was then the Taichung Prefecture Library, Cho struck. He pushed forward from the crowd and jumped onto the vehicle, slashing his blade as he went. Unfortunately for Cho, and fortunately for Prince Kuniyoshi, Cho's attack was foiled by a combination of the limo's canopy and the prince's bodyguards. Cho did, however, manage to wound the prince on his arm and stab the driver in the back. He also somehow escaped during all the confusion, making his way here to the Jianghua Bank dormitories on Jiguang Street. His escape, though, proved only temporary, as sometime later he was apprehended and taken to the Taichung Police Department, reportedly telling onlookers, "Don't worry, I'm taking revenge for the Korean Empire and long live Korea," as he was escorted away. But the drama didn't end there, as after making his failed assassination bid, Cho ingested morphine hydrochloride in an attempt to kill himself. This also failed, although it did leave him in a coma for 3 days. Around a month later, he was transported to Taipei prison, where he was to stand trial. Sentenced to death on July 18th, Cho was hanged here at the prison a few months later, on October 10th. Defiant to the last moment, just before his death, he proclaimed disappointment that he would not live to see Korea independent. He was later buried at a prison cemetery in Liuzhangli. But that was not the end of it, as this story has a twist in the tale. Despite his apparent failure, Cho to this day is revered by Koreans for his actions. Some Korean language articles and other sources even state that in fact the assassination bid was successful. and that the blade was poisoned with a substance that caused Kuniyoshi to fall ill and die a few months after the attack. The Japanese authorities would certainly have wanted to downplay any successful attack for fear it would inspire other would-be assassins. So this version of events is entirely plausible, but I guess we'll never know for certain. Successful or not, it's interesting to note there are at least 2 statues of Cho in existence. One in Seoul's Grand Park and another one here in the grounds of Taipei's Korean School, where students will be forever reminded of his deeds. Deeds that are, although not that well known, make up another fascinating part of Taiwan's long and complicated history. Okay guys, so that's it for today's history lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a like, because that really helps out the video. And you can always subscribe if you like my content. And if you really like my content, then you can hit the bell for notifications and you'll get a reminder every Saturday morning when I have a new video out. Once again, thanks to everybody who bought me a coffee this week. Really appreciate your support. If you buy me 3 or more coffees, then you qualify for a Hyclopedia embroidered patch. And in addition to the 3 coffees for a free patch, I now have another couple of new ways for you to help support the channel. The first one, Hyclopedia stickers. You can get a 2-pack of these beautiful die-cut stickers for just $5 US. And the second way is digital downloads. I have uploaded some of my favorite photos taken over the years, and you can download them to use as a wallpaper or even get a print, whatever you like. So go check them out at my Buy Me a Coffee page and help to support Hyclopedia. Thanks again for all your generosity and support. That's it for this week. Take care. I'll see you next time. Over and out.